Hey everyone, this is Relics,
And I'm Nagatron.
and we are watching Round 9 of the World of Tanks Classic League Season 1 on Fjords with Nag01 versus Team Fail. So let's get it going. Alright, starting out with Nag01, we are running with an IS-4, 5 T110s, a Batchat, a GWE and T92 for artillery, and a T50-2 for scouting. So they're going for pretty much the standard point setup.
Team Fail has an E100, an IS-4, a mouse, 5 T110s, an Object 261, and a Tier 2 light. Contrary to their name, this is actually a collection of a lot of familiar names. I see some XAOD, some people who have now joined Simp. So these people are no strangers to competition.
Yeah, it looks like a good little collection of players.
So Team Fail has chosen to go with what appears to be 8 Tier 10s all told, 1 Tier 8 already and a 261, but apparently, or sorry, 1 261 and a Tier 2 light. Apparently, they were trying to rush that Tier 2 light to a bush or something in the front, get some sort of lighting with him, but he is gone.
Yeah, unfortunately, he had to fight the Batchat to get up to the top of the hill first. And Batchat won. I do like their spread here. They have pretty much everything covered pretty well. They can cover each other. And as soon as this T110 gets into position, they'll have some nice cross shots through the middle there. He just knocked a tree over on that T50-2. Which apparently has him pinned down. I would think they'd be trying to be a little bit more aggressive in spotting with him right now.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how far he spots, actually. I don't think he's seeing anything additional to what the T110 sees. So maybe he's just in a holding pattern right now until they decide to let him loose and do something more active in the future. Typically, I would say, though, that a mobile scout is more useful than a stationary one. Um, Not only do you have the ability to drive other places and see what you want to see rather than just a fixed area, in the event that you're discovered immobile, you're going to probably die. I mean, artillery might hit you. Any of the tanks in the area are definitely going to shoot you.
Yeah, and realistic right now, he's not adding any extra vision. He's not going to be stepped over or anything. And him moving around like through the middle or through the southern parts are going to put enough pressure on them to worry about him getting through their one artillery. Lots of great cross shots and artillery going on here, putting a lot of pressure on Team Fail.
You can see the T110 that's up here actually has some pretty decent shots on Team Fail's T110 that is down there right about D5, E5 or so. So this northern position all the way up here at A8 can actually fire down into that area, but it can't see there. So if you have something else that's lighting it, then you can fire from there. And if you can't hold that position, then pretty much the entire town is free reign for whoever comes from the one side. So it's a situation where that top part is really important, and you just can't let it go so easily.
Yeah, and likewise, with how everything's positioned right now, I don't think he can be spotted at all from that position. So he doesn't have to worry about any artillery, doesn't have to worry about counterfire back at him. He can just sit there and rain death. And that T110 is so accurate, he's landing pretty much all of his shots. I'm going to be very, very sad if they nerf this tank.
You can pretty much guarantee that they will. I mean, it's got higher damage per minute than any other tier 10. It's incredibly accurate even while moving, relatively bouncy for any tank. So, I mean, it's got nowhere to go but down from here.
Doesn't mean I have to like it. But yeah, I totally agree.
Here is the Batchat. I think he is doing some lighting from behind that rock there. But what's already there is trying to hide from him. And depending on how long it takes Team Fail to shift around, they're going to be able to artillery him out probably within the next minute or so.
Yeah, it almost feels like he's just stuck there. Or at some point he moved up to that rock and he just couldn't get back out because of those T-110s.
He is pinned by the IS-4 in the south, which will light him. And then the T-110s that are over there in A6 will definitely shoot him as well, so... I've been to that rock in public matches, and that is pretty much what happens to me every time I go there as well.
Well, right now it looks like they're just both trying to run down the clock, see what they can get out of artillery, see if the other team will make a mistake at all. That's the one downside of bringing the 261. That Batchat probably would already be out right now if there was a GWE or even a T92, although I probably wouldn't bring a T92 to such a short point match. But no splash on that 261, basically.
Yeah, he'll have to get it incredibly close to him, even with gold rounds, in order to get him out. Like you were saying, though, with the GWE and gold, you can pretty much slash one side or other of that rock and still reach everything behind it.
Yeah, I think we can both pretty much agree that GWE is kind of our favorite artillery to use at this point. Although 261 in some nice open maps does really well.
GWE just has kind of a nice balance. Reloads relatively quick. The only real drawback being the fact that it is so incredibly slow.
Well, we just passed the 8-minute mark. And we still don't have a lot of movement from either team, it looked like.
There goes the Batchat. It's actually kind of strange. I guess they just assumed that he was still there. He didn't light anything else, but maybe something lit him back there.
Yeah. That's a good call. They can tell they were just pinging a second ago there that the artillery is in like the A5 or A6 to get that kind of angle on the Batchat where he was. So when if they end up doing a push, they at least know where to look for him. And that position will actually kind of work for their benefit if they come down the hill. I'm not sure he'll have a lot of good shots on them, and this T110 over here will be able to get down there pretty quick to knock him out. It looks like they pulled that 50-2 all the way off now, and he is running up the middle again.
So he's either going to fill the spot where the Batchat was, or drive all the way through. I do agree with how they took him from the north, and rather than running him down into the field, came all the way up through the south and up through. So that's actually a much safer route for the 50-2. The most dangerous portion of that entire hill is all along that beeline, where pretty much anything can shoot you.
Oh, here we go with the push. Smart move.
Actually all the way over there in B1, so either he moved or there was just a little bit of rock that he was able to shoot over.
Those 261s can move pretty fast. I wouldn't be surprised if he get a pulled all the way back over there. That was a real smart move using that distraction in the 50-2 to knock out that IS-4. Now they have the entire hilltop to themselves. And we have eyes on the tanks that are at G3. I'm going to guess that's the Moss and E100. Well, looks like they're getting sniped a little bit from this 6 line. Caught in a bad spot there. Luckily for their main pushing force there, they really don't have to worry about artillery at this point since they know he's all the way up in that line there, and they have the mountain for cover. These T-110s are pretty stealthy right now, though.
So now we have all of T-110s accounted for again. I thought I remember 2 being behind that rock where the dead one just is, but obviously he drove straight down the hill.
I'm surprised that artillery is not lit again with them coming all the way around that corner.
The only thing I can think is he might be on the south side of that church building over there in E1 or so. Or he's very, very tucked to the... Oh, never mind.
Oh,
He actually moved all the way up to A5.
that is some crazy positioning. He snuck all the way by there when they were trying to come down the hill. I could have swore they would be spotted all the way on the backside there. And he got quite a bit of damage out while he was there. Oh, just over the top. It's looking about even tank for tank. Their artillery is really not going to be able to do anything in this fight now, with everything being behind the hill.
Definitely not. I don't know if they're going to try and drive them in for some sort of endgame TD, or maybe they'll just keep them back. There are only about 2.5 minutes left. So they might be a nice assurance policy just to make sure that if anything goes wrong with this final push, the Nag can still draw it out.
Yeah, everything's looking pretty quick. Oh, that Moss just finished off that T-110. I'm thinking he's not going to be able to get over here fast enough to help out his buddy. And they're definitely not getting enough damage on our T-110 driver that we're watching.
Well, at this point, that should wrap it up. Even if this mouse is at full health, this combo should be able to take care of them. They're bringing in at least one of their artillery, so...
Yeah, even just one-on-one, a T-110 versus Moss that's at 500 health, T-110 should be able to pull that out pretty easy. Although he appears to be missing. Oh, there he is. And there's artillery coming in. All right, well, great fight, guys. Grats to Nag.
Thank you.
Ba-dum-bum.